Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Glenster versus Ramey.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Ms. Glenster, you have opened your case today because you say your life has been in turmoil since the moment you learned you were pregnant with twins. You are convinced your husband fathered your 8-month-old son, Richard, but you also believe your boyfriend, Mr. Stacy, fathered your son's twin sister, Raylan. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramey, you state there is no way you fathered either one of your wife's twins and intend to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Stacy, you believe you fathered both twins.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Glenster, please tell the court how your life has been in turmoil.
For the fact of the matter that I'm still married to John, that I am in a relationship with Scotty, and just everything's been upside down, not knowing who with the twins.
And now you believe your fraternal twins have two different fathers.
That they possibly could have two different fathers.
Wow. Mr. Ramey,
Yes, Your Honor.
you don't believe you fathered either one of your wife's children.
Your Honor, I do not with these twins. They don't resemble my two biological children that I have with Miss Glenster.
Okay. How did we get into this confusion with conception?
December 15th, John, Keisha, Scotty, and I was at the house, and Scotty and John were working on the bathroom to get it fixed up.
So your boyfriend and your husband were working on the bathroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And after they had gotten the floor put down, Scotty went into our room, was playing his games in our room. Keisha was in the living room, watching TV, I guess. And John said, come look at the bathroom. He said, we got to talk about the kids, close the door. And then one thing led to another, and we had sex.
Do you remember that day, Mr. Ramey?
I remember the day, Your Honor. I don't really remember it exactly as she told this story, but me and Samantha were married.
But do you remember having sex with your
Yes.
wife in the bathroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
With her boyfriend in the bedroom playing video games?
I don't know what he was doing, Your Honor. I just know that what her and I were doing.
So, Miss Glenster, how did Mr. Stacy, your boyfriend, find out that you had sex with your husband?
I guess he had to use the bathroom or whatever, because he went up to the bathroom and he had heard me and John together, and he said, I can't do this, and he walked out. And when he walked out, we got finished. He left with Keisha.
So wait a minute, you got finished, you finished the act?
Yes, Your Honor. I was addicted to
Mr.
John.
Stacy, so you knock on the door, you there laying floor, and Mr. Ramey laying something else. So you knock on the door, what happens? Tell me what you remember.
I knocked on the door. I heard them. I said I was done, and I walked out. Started walking down the road.
Did you know they were having sex? What did you hear?
You could hear them.
So you knew immediately?
Yes.
And you just said, I'm done, and you left?
Yes.
And then, Miss Glenster, when do you reconnect with Mr. Stacy?
After John and Keisha had left the house that night, went and picked him up from walking up the road and brought him back to the house and told him I was sorry and asked him to stay.
And then how soon after that do you start having sex with Mr. Stacy again?
It was that night.
Oh, right after you have sex with your husband, you have sex with your boyfriend?
Not right after. I mean, it was that evening that it happened. But Scotty had left the next day, said he was going to his mom's, that he thought about it, he couldn't do it, and then I went and picked John up and brought him back to the house.
And have sex with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
So within the span of 24 hours, you've had sex with your husband twice and your boyfriend once?
Yes.
Wow.
He understands my relationship with John. When I first got with Scotty, my thing was, John, the boys come first over anything. John has been my rock and he will always be my rock. And I just thought that's how I would get him back. At that time, I did love Scotty, but I was in love with this man.
Okay, so right now you're just being honest. The
I am.
truth is you're in love with your husband. But in the meantime, since he was with somebody else, you started dating Mr. Stacy because he's nice and
He's wonderful. I mean, he's been there since day one, even after he knew what happened.
so take me to the day you find out you're pregnant, Miss Glenster. Oh my goodness. When you find out you're pregnant, what happened? What happened that day?
Scotty was the first one to find out that I was pregnant, other than my aunt and my uncle. I did not tell nobody else until I told John when he called, and I said, John, I'm pregnant. He said, what do you want me to do about it? And I said, well, you do know that there's a
didn't tell you
possibility
that,
that
yeah.
they're yours. And he said, there's no way. And I said, yeah, John, we slept together on the 15th and 16th. I said, they can be yours.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So how did you get a conception date from the doctor?
It was September 17th was the final due date.
And from that, you calculated, or they calculated, a window of conception.
Yes, and when they gave me the due date, they also gave me a paper stating that baby A, which was Richard, was 5 weeks and 2 days, and Raylan was 5 weeks and 4 days.
Ah, and that was how many weeks, days after you had slept with both of them?
I was 5.5 weeks pregnant.
And
or
so the
whatever.
timeline pointed directly back to both men because you've been honest, you were intimate with both men on the same day,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
in the same 24-hour period.
Yes, Your Honor.
So who was with you when you gave birth?
Scotty was there.
And you're there when the babies are born.
Yes.
Do you sign the birth certificate?
No.
Nobody's on the birth certificate.
Well, you couldn't because she's legally married to Mr. Ramey.
Correct.
Correct.
All right. So,
I'm sorry that I put you guys through this. I really am.
well, they put themselves through it too. Once he was put on notice that you were back with your husband, he was leaving, but he came back.
Yeah, but, you know, to be all honest, I've been with these men together, okay? I mean, I'm not going to be thrown under the bus with this.
I forgot about that. Yes,
I mean, I was with them together, and I just want answers for my children because they deserve to know, and John and Scotty deserve to know.
So I need to be clear. Did you state that you had a threesome with your husband and your boyfriend?
Yes, I did. And Scotty did it because he loved me, and I did it because I love John.
What in God's name? And so now you could have twins with two different fathers. How does that feel?
It's heartbreaking that my children are going to have to pay for my mistakes. It's not fair to him, and it's not fair to Scotty, and it's definitely not fair to the twins because they didn't ask for their mother to lay on her back.
You opened this case because you believe your husband is the father of one twin and your boyfriend is the father of the other.
Yes.
Please explain why you believe your husband is Richard's father.
Richard has the same birthmark that my son Jonathan had. Richard looks like Jonathan when he was a baby, which Jonathan looks like John when he was a baby. So in turns, Richard looks like John when he was a baby.
Okay,
he does.
so Mr. Ramey, I want to ask you, do you see the resemblance? Do you believe you could possibly be Richard's biological father?
Possibly, yes, but I do not think that I am. I just don't see the resemblance of myself in the babies when I see them. I don't.
And this is you holding both twins
Yes, at their home.
at their house.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Stacy, you believe these are your twins,
Yes, Your Honor.
both of them.
Both of them.
And how do you feel when you see Mr. Ramey holding the twins?
It does bother me a little bit.
I'm surprised you even let him come up in your house anymore after the bathroom incident. I'm just saying. Can you tell the court why you believe Raylan is Mr. Stacy's?
Her mannerisms, She's very quiet, laid back. You know, you don't mess with her, she don't mess with you, same as Scotty is. And she just favors Scotty. The shape of her head, she looks like Scotty to me.
And so as you've held your twins, taken care of them, they're 8 months old, you look in their faces and you literally see 2 different men as their fathers.
I do.
I feel your energy, and it's like you are so conflicted. If it was a perfect world and you could wave your magic wand and choose the life and the partner you wanted, who would you be with?
I'd be with John. I mean, you said in a perfect world, we wouldn't be here. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have been separated.
Do you think your relationship with your new girlfriend can survive if one or both of the twins are yours?
I really don't know, but that's not my main concern. It's about the babies,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
I mean, hopefully it does. I mean, because I love her very much. But at the same time, they're innocent, and if I am their dad, I've got to be there and handle that.
See, when he said, I love her very much, you closed your eyes and just nodded your head like you didn't want to hear that.
I don't like the girl. I mean, I like her as a person, but I don't like her that she's my husband's girlfriend. You know, we were friends at one point.
Ma'am, I'd like to hear from you. Please stand. Step over to the podium and state your name for the court.
Keisha Atkins.
Miss Atkins, you are Mr. Ramey's current girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe your boyfriend is the father of one or both of these twins?
No, 100% no, I do not believe that these kids are his. And
You weren't in there when that happened, Keisha. I mean, how are you going to say no, it's not?
because they do
At
not
first he
resemble
told you it was
Sammy.
because
They
the-
do not resemble my John at all. Neither one of them do.
He does resemble John because he looks just like John.
No, he doesn't.
Okay. You have your opinion, I have mine.
Exactly.
Miss Atkins, do you believe Mr. Stacy is the father of one or both of the twins?
No, I do not.
Oh,
Really?
Yes, really.
so you're saying you don't believe either man's the father?
No.
Well, I declare, as my grandmother would say. Ma'am, thank you for your testimony. You may be seated. All right, well, that was an earful. The only way we are going to figure our way out of this is to get the results. We need the truth. Jerome, may I have the envelope, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I love you both, and I'm sorry, regardless what this stuff says.
No matter what it says, Sammy, you know, it's because we're not together. You know, I'm always going to love you. You're the mom of my kids, and I'll always be here. But the main thing is, at least we'll know for the babies.
All right. This result is for Raylan. And just to be clear, you believe Mr. Stacy, your boyfriend, is Raylan's biological father.
Yes.
Because fraternal twins could have different biological fathers, we performed individual paternity tests on Richard and Raylan. In the case of Glenster versus Ramey, when it comes to 8-month-old Raylan Ramey, it has been determined by this court the biological father is Mr. Stacy. The next result is for Richard. And in this case, Ms. Glenster, you believe Mr. Ramey, your husband, is Richard's biological father. These are the results. In the case of Glenster versus Ramey, when it comes to 8-month-old Richard Ramey, it has been determined by this court the biological father is Mr. Stacy.
Now tell me I was sleeping with somebody else.
I'm happy for the children that they know who their biological father is. But I am concerned because when I read those results, Miss Glenster, you wanted those babies to be your husbands. I know what I know what I know. It's about the animosity you have towards her because she's got your man. Let's just call it the way I see it. Sometimes we just have to call a spade a spade.
No, now me and Scotty can go on with our life.
No, but you're not on with your life.
This was him.
Because let me tell you something. If a man looks at me and somebody says, if you can wave a magic wand and tell me who you'd be with, and he names another woman's name, we got a problem. Nobody wants to live their life knowing they're somebody's runner-up. I want you all to go talk to Dr. Jeff and work through it. I'm glad we've got the truth for the babies, but I do want you all to be honest about where you're at with this. If you don't ever tell the truth, you're never gonna be able to work through it. I wish you all the very best. Court is adjourned.